Is our suffering all created? Is it in our own head? Is it all just the result of our own way of thinking? The Psychology Book Club. I'm your host, RJ Roger, and what we're going to talk about today is Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. So, my opening thoughts on this book. What was the first thing that I was thinking at the completion of the book? And what popped into my head is the current state of the country, the nation's young people who are committing suicide at levels that we have never seen before. Kids are suffering from anxiety, depression, the feeling of not being good enough. Social media is just really putting a lot of pressure on our nation's young people. And what's causing it? Is it not feeling pretty enough, good enough, powerful enough? Is it not being able to find a woman, find a man? What is it? Not being able to meet the expectation that maybe that parents are setting upon their children? Is it the universities? Is it the workforce? Is it just the changing world that we're in? Is it COVID? Is it what the pandemic did to our nation's young people? What is it? And can it be stopped? Now, upon reading Don't Believe Everything You Think, the opening points in the book discusses the differences between thought and thinking. And this was, at first glance, I didn't really quite get the point of what he was saying, but thought and thinking are really two completely different things. Joseph breaks down thought as this organic thing that we have, things that can occur because of some type of outside influences. Maybe it's just our intuition, God, thought. Why do thoughts come to us? That can't be stopped. We have no control over thoughts. They are completely natural, free-flowing, organic. But thinking, Joseph goes into, thinking is something that we have some control over. We decide how far we want to go in our head, how far our thoughts will go. So Joseph breaks it down as a thought could just be something that comes to you. It's in your hand. You're holding it. But what are you going to do with the thought now that you have it? Do you just take it and sit it down? Or do you study it all day? Do you ask it a bunch of questions? Do you go 10, 15 layers deep inside of your mind? And according to Joseph, that's really the real cause of our suffering. Thinking. I want to quit my job. I hate it. I want to leave my girlfriend. I hate her. What do we do after that thought comes to us? Do you just go leave her? Do you just go quit your job? That would be the recommendation coming out of Don't Believe Everything You Think. But then what happens is you start to think, oh man, how will I pay this bill? How will I take care of my children? What will my mother think of me? You have all this thinking that occurs, and then you don't make the decision that could have been helpful for your life. If you would have just acted upon the thought, you would have made a decision that would have very likely proven to be a good decision. I wonder if some other man is touching her, talking to her, texting her. I wonder if she's even thinking about me. Now you start to think and you develop anxiety. You start feeling low. You just completely changed the high and dynamic place that you were just in prior to thinking. That's the core elements of the book, and the book gives many different ideas and ways that you can stop thinking. And the one thing that you learn about the book more than anything is that our thinking is not that honest. A lot of our thinking is based in fear of the unknown, uncertainty. All of these things create anxiety. Now, I could go on and on and on and on about this book and never stop, because this book really was a complete joy to read. It's not overly intellectual. It's not very academic. It's not full of a whole bunch of big words. It's plain English, 6th grade reading level, but it packs a heavy punch. It's complex, but simple at the same time. And I always love books that just give you the message. The writer's not trying to sound overly sophisticated. He's not trying to sound above you. He's not trying to sound like a psychologist or anything like that. He just gives you the information that's based off of his own life story. And that's probably why the book reads so well, because he wrote it from his own pain. Now, I am really proud to say that this book, Don't Believe Everything You Think, will be the first book that I add into the Psychology Book Club. What do you guys think? I'm RJ Roger. This is the Psychology Book Club. I have a great book that's in stores now, The Don, 36 Rules of the Bosses. Please support the book. Peace and love, and I'll see you next week.